Hey, what's up? It's Nathan here with thebtccourse.com, and in this video I'm going to discuss why Bitcoin and not crypto. So not Ethereum, not XRP, not Cardano. There's only one cryptocurrency that I am focused on, which is Bitcoin, and this video is going to explain why that is the case. So first and foremost, Bitcoin has the network effects. So it's been around the longest, it has more users than any other cryptocurrency, has more people working on projects than any other cryptocurrency. It has the ETFs being filed in its favor. BlackRock just filed for its ETF of Bitcoin. And so in order for a crypto to actually be able to compete with Bitcoin, after it has already these massive network effects, like it's going to need to be at least 10 times better than what Bitcoin has. And there are additional layers being built upon Bitcoin. There's layer 2 technologies like Lightning and Liquid and so on. And so those additional layers have additional functions like speed, privacy, they can have smart contracts and securities and all that type of stuff being built on additional layers while leaving the main base chain intact. And so with these additional aspects that these additional layers are providing, I don't see how another cryptocurrency can compete. And also I'm going to address a few other reasons why it's Bitcoin over crypto. So Bitcoin had an immaculate inception. So what this means is that there was a guy or a group of guys or maybe a female and named Satoshi Nakamoto who created Bitcoin and then vanished from the face of the earth. So that means that there's no central figurehead for Bitcoin, whereas other coins like Ethereum, for example, has Vitalik Buterin, and so there's like a dedicated development, engineering, marketing teams, a founder of the coin. They're businesses essentially, and since there's businesses and people that can be addressed, these businesses or altcoins can be coerced. And that coercion could be from the marketplace, from other businesses, from governments. Most other coins are also proof of stake. So in proof of stake situations, the rich get richer. And the rich tend to have more voting rights and control over the network, like who's going to get paid, who controls it, who can censor transactions, and all that other type of stuff. Now with Bitcoin, even the largest holder cannot change Bitcoin's code. Like they're just a holder just like I'm a holder. So MicroStrategy, Michael Saylor, like even though they have like over 100,000 Bitcoins, well, they have the same rights that I do. So also proof of stake trends towards centralization, and centralization trends toward control and censorship. And of course, if there's a central entity, well, that can also be coerced, shut down, attacked, whatever. All right, several cryptos have changed their monetary policy. Ethereum is one of them. Some cryptos, no one even knows how much there is or will be, and people can change it. Like they might have one monetary policy and then they see that their token's going down in price, so they change their monetary policy. Maybe they say they'll never burn any tokens, and then a few years later their token price isn't going up, so they're like, you know what, we're going to start burning tokens. Well, that's kind of unpredictable when it comes to your money. You want to have a known amount of money that's going to be in existence, and Bitcoin has that. Whereas other cryptos, that they might not have a set monetary policy, or it could change, and it's changed by people. And we want to remove people from money. That's kind of the idea here. So you can't do that with Bitcoin. And so if people can change the monetary policy, how is it any different than our current system, right? And again, it can be coerced because people can change it. Now, Bitcoin has had the same monetary policy since day one, and no one can change it because it's truly decentralized. So the developers, they program the code, they write the code. The miners mine the blocks, i.e. they organize the transactions into groupings called blocks based on free market economics, so whoever is paying the highest fees, and add the blocks to the blockchain. Now, there's a little more to it than that, but for the most part, that's how it works, free market economics. And the node operators confirm the rules are being followed, i.e. decide what the rules are. The node operators are the people. So there's over 10,000 node runners. I have 2 nodes personally, so I'm deciding what rules that I want to follow and what Bitcoin rules that I want to use and what network I want to participate on. So the moral is there's 3 different parties that focus on Bitcoin and have some sort of control and say in how Bitcoin works. And to change any rule, you need consensus across all 3 parties. And most cryptos lack the node operator piece, leaving the programmers and miners or validators in control of the money and in control of how the cryptocurrency works. So Bitcoin's monetary policy is hard-coded into the source code and would require a hard fork to change. And while miners may want to change the monetary policy so they can earn more mining, and developers may also want to change the monetary policy so they can earn more for their work, no one running a node would opt to change Bitcoin's monetary policy, and there are way more node runners than miners and programmers. Like I said, there's over 10,000 people running nodes. So no holder of Bitcoin would want there to be more Bitcoins on the market. Like, it just doesn't make sense to change that monetary policy. So Bitcoin's monetary policy is set. That's one of the primary cornerstones of Bitcoin, is there'll ever only be 21 million Bitcoin. And if that changed, well, then Bitcoin would just fall apart. So, that's not changing. And, a lot of people consider that 21 million the main selling point of Bitcoin. And another note on hard forks. So they've tried to hard fork Bitcoin before, i.e. during the block size wars in around 2015, 2016, where programmers, more than 50% of the miners, and prominent outspoken Bitcoiners like Roger Ver, also known as Bitcoin Jesus, and Gavin Andresen, fought to increase the size of the blocks. Ultimately, the node operators chose which Bitcoin chain they wanted to use and essentially vetoed the programmers and the miners. So the block sizes did not grow in size like the programmers and the miners and even, prominent Bitcoiners wanted to change. Like, we kept it small, which kept the blockchain small, which allows it to be more decentralized. So that means individuals can run a full Bitcoin node for less than $200 that validates the entire Bitcoin blockchain and forces the rule set they want to follow. So again, I have 2 nodes myself, and they're enforcing the Bitcoin blockchain rules that I agree with, and 10,000 other people agree with as well. So you cannot do this with other blockchains, as it is quite complex. So the blockchains are either very large and or a massive drain of resources, like you need a lot of bandwidth in order to handle all the transactions and information and stuff like that, and or just straight up complicated. Like, there's a lot of node software for Bitcoin nodes that are pretty much like plug and play. You download it, install it, it automatically downloads the blockchain, and boom, you have a full Bitcoin node running. Whereas some of these other blockchains, it is not that simple to do. And it definitely costs more money and takes more time to set up and manage. And since it's so complex to run these nodes for other blockchains, it makes you dependent upon others to do the node operation, which eliminates the entire point of a currency that's supposed to give you self-sovereignty. So if you have to depend on somebody else to, report to you what the blockchain is doing, well, then you don't have that control. You're depending on somebody else. Whereas with Bitcoin, you can run your own node and you can track exactly what the blockchain is doing and have confirmation that there's no funny business going on with the Bitcoin blockchain. And now, to give credit where credit is due, there are definitely smart people working on other crypto projects, and they're solving really tough and interesting engineering problems. And when it comes to money, Bitcoin checks all the blocks for me. So again, it has the network effects. There's no belly button, so there's no CEO, there's no marketing team, dev team, or anything like that. It's a fully distributed group of people working on Bitcoin or working on additional layers for Bitcoin. It's truly decentralized. Again, we have the programmers, we have the miners, and we have the node operators, globally distributed around the world. And finally, probably the most important piece of it is a consistent monetary policy where there's ever only going to be 21 million Bitcoin, and that's like a law. Just like the law of gravity is a law. Like that's what it is, and we know it's going to be that. And so that is why I am Bitcoin only and not crypto. And if you want more details, check out these other Bitcoin resources. I have links to blogs, podcasts, books, YouTube, and of course I have my own YouTube channel that you can check out if you want to learn more about Bitcoin and why only Bitcoin is what matters. Other than that, I hope you have a great rest of the day.